my list of goofs. These are all my goofs. So I already covered the whole driving away from Bond at the school, which, by the way, that's another missed opportunity. I kind of wish when the first time that they were driving the nieces, and he's like, oh, I got to drop the nieces off. Maybe it's assumed that they're going to school because they're wearing uniforms, right? But I kind of wish he would have clarified that. I wish Hip would have been like, I got to drop the girls off at school. And then later he's like, I was dropping off at karate
right? That's the
school.
thing that's jarring about that is like he drops down at night, and then the next time you see him it's daytime.
It should have been day.
I'll drop the girls, come back here and hang around.
If it was me, I would have. He would have said, "I'm dropping them off at school," and who maybe it's karate's.
I say get rid of the nieces and just have Hip be good at kung fu or something.
Forgot to tell you, their father runs a karate school.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the whole, obviously, the whole thing there is like Bond has that moment where he's like, "I'll protect you, girls," and then the girls are like, "Off, dude! Like, we got it." But I think the score is good, but obviously the music is not. I mean, like the Man with the Golden Gun is just like not like who cares? Songs are never going to determine. Yeah, like, exactly. Like what we have here is a situation where whenever they have a hit song, the follow-up is usually not as good, and everybody's like, that song's awful. And it's like, this song, maybe you could argue it works for this movie because it's very on point. The lyrics are all about the man with the golden gun. It makes for a really good Chinese theme. Like, they took this weird rock, like, I wish they would have just done, like, Chinese themed, like Chinese style for the whole song. Instead, they made it like this weird 70s rock thing, and it like, it's not as good. But the score based on that theme is fine. You know, dun, 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 dun.
I've been
works
humming
really
that
well
all day,
in Chinese, but
I've been humming that theme all day. Like, it's been stuck in my head. It's like,
but the song as sung by Lulu is like, like it's. The lyrics work, but it's No Live and Let Die.
It doesn't feel like it has some of that orchestral stuff. Like if Scott was here, we could talk about that a little more, but it definitely just feels slightly out of place. Like it's almost like they were trying to be like, what do we follow Live and Let Die with? The music as far as the orchestra goes. And then they're like, well, we have John Barry back. And then they were trying to try to figure something out, and it works with the movie and like this kung fu thing, and it
Paul,
doesn't.
Can we just get you for like a day, Paul? Can you come in and like
it doesn't
redo this song?
It's not as good. It's just not as good. It's fine. Like I don't hate it. Absolutely, I don't like. It's not like I hate this one. But it's
okay.
Fine.
So it opens, and it's like whatever, and then it closes too, and the closing song is
good night, sleep well, my dear. No need to fear. James Bond is here.
Good night. You know, and you're like, what? I do like though that James Bond is here. Like, have no fear, James Bond is here. I do kind of like that. Thematically, it fits into the movie so far as it's like Bond's reputation is what's at stake. So it's like directly calling him out in the song kind of works for me. But overall, like just the music at the beginning and the end doesn't work, but the score overall works. So I count that as a goof that the music is whatever. The driving away from Bond at the school. Bond would totally have noticed the fuel line. I do love the scene with that.
For you, mister. 20 baht.
I'll tell you what, Sonny, I'll give you 20,000 baht if you can make this heap go any faster.
20,000 baht.
I'm afraid I have to owe you.
Bloody tourist.
Bond would totally have turned that fuel line on, but like whatever.
I just wanted to point out like that is Roger Moore's was like least favorite thing in his movies was throwing that kid in the water apparently.
Really?
Because
even more than torturing Maud Adams. I don't know if she's double jointed, but he twists the shit out of her arm. But like, why is it a bad thing throwing that kid in?
He knew the water was really unclean, and he was like, he had to throw this kid in the water, and he like hated it. Like he just every time that scene made him cringe because of that. And it's always been pointed out
for like UNICEF or something.
Yeah, like he's like
so
Roger Moore, the person, is definitely
it's
not
just a bad
Bond.
look, maybe.
Yeah.
He's like, this is
I'm
really
not
terrible.
James Bond. I'm Roger Moore.
We're throwing this kid in the water who, you know, is like getting his one shot and being a movie probably ever. and is very lucky and fortunate to do that. And he's throwing this kid who probably doesn't have a lot of money to begin with. Maybe, I don't know.
Dude,
I'm
if I was
assuming
that
here.
kid, I would not. I would have been like, dude, hit me as hard as you can. Like,
Yeah.
You know.
But he really didn't like that.
Oh, but you're a poor indigenous child. Oh, no, he's a kick-ass kid.
Pretty lady, 100 baht.
No, no.
80 baht. 60 baht.
The kid jumped off his own boat and swam over there. Like, the kid is cool. He's literally a river rat. Like, he's a badass.
Yeah.
And I honestly wish I would have liked the kid to come back. Even like when JW's wife is like, oh, I want one of those elephants. Like,
That
if
would've
the
been
kid
good.
could have been
That would've
there to
been
be
good.
like 200 baht. And she's like, 200 baht? That's a steal. Like, that would have been a fun way to cap off that kid and have the kid, like, get what he
or
wants.
like him saying, because doesn't he says like, you're a very handsome man, like this many instead, you know, like
Well,
it
he's
could
like,
have been
pretty
like that.
lady, pretty lady.
Pretty lady.
Yeah.
You're a very
100
pretty
baht,
lady.
80 baht,
Here's,
60
100
baht, 40 baht, 20
Yeah.
baht. Like, that kid could have used one more scene. And then the sumo butt. The sumo butt is my final goof. Like, those are I have 4 goofs. And the
Why
sumo
does he go
butt.
straight for the butt cheeks?
Nans, can you call your mom and let us know about sumo wrestling? Like, if you does your mom happen to know that if you grab a sumo wrestler's diaper and twist it, does it hurt? If it hurts his nuts, then it's brilliant. If it doesn't, then it's stupid.
That was
I'm
what
gonna
I
guess
got.
no, because when they in actual sumo wrestling, I'm not an expert or anything, but I swear that's like part of the main thing they do is like grab each other's. I'm gonna call them diapers. I'm sure that's not.
Do they
what
grab 'em?
They're called.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they grab onto those things, and like that's what they use to like throw
To
each
throw
other.
him off.
You
the
would
circle
assume
and
that
stuff,
it was
right?
a rule that you couldn't touch it, but unfortunately I don't know a fucking thing about sumo wrestling. So like if some sumo guy was like, oh yeah, like never touch another man's diaper, like that hurts your balls, bro, then I'd be like, oh, good job, Bond.
Yeah.
But otherwise, that's goofy, right? That's like,
Yeah.
you know, and I put that like those are the 4 goofs. That's it. That's all I have for goofs.